Hi everyone, welcome back. Listen, just done this. Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel. Right, today we have got a ton of stuff to do. We are starting with the engine bay. We are going to get it cleaned first, or at least it presentable, and then we're going to change the hard pipe from the standard OEM hard pipe from Ford to a Ram Air 3-inch all the way through right to the end. It's powder coated black. It looks sweet, and hopefully it's going to sound even better. So we're going to get that on, and then we're going to continue with some engine bay work with a plenum cover, header tank as well. So let's get on with that right now. Right, before I start, I am in the car. Let's give it a little rev. Let's hear. Hopefully that's picking it up. We'll try and get some more sound clips before we change the hard pipe. Right, so everyone, the weather seems to be rather unkind to me today. It's starting to rain, so I might try and move locations to see if I can get undercover in the local supermarket. But this should be a fairly easy, when I say easy, it's never the case, but we're going to undo screw there holding the crossover pipe to the silicon. We've got a insert here which we just need to unclip or pull out. There's just a push button here, green push button just there to push that and release that from the hard pipe. Obviously we've got to unbolt here. We'll take out the air filter, which is a lot easier to get to, so we'll take this off. We'll take the MAF sensor off, and we'll undo this silicone hose. And then there's one bolt which is just underneath here, which is a little bit awkward, but it's not too hard to do. It's also, there is a bolt, let's see, just below here there's a bracket holding it on, so it's fairly easy in principle, so we can get this done hopefully reasonably quickly. Let's just see if the weather holds out. Okay, so we're going to start with the silicone hose and to crossover. We're going to undo this and loosen this, and then we'll move it over to this side, take the air filter out, give us a bit more room. Okay, so we've just undone that. We're just going to lift this out now, maneuver this out, and then just take this off, and the pipe will then be exposed for us to get to the bolts. So I've just undone the MAF sensor. We're just going to take that out and drop that down here for the moment, making sure that when we put this back on that we keep it at 2 o'clock. So we're just going to rest that down there for the moment. This needs to be addressed. We need to get an RS vac pipe for sure. This is messy and horrible. I wish I'd done this before, but nevertheless we'll crack on. So we're just taking the 2 Jubilee clips off, and then we're just going to give this a pull, and then that will come off. So now we're ready to get to the bolts. So I'm using a 10mm socket with extension bar on the ratchet. We're just going to get to the bolt, which is just located down there on that bracket. The extension will help to reach it, so definitely worth having a socket set. Okay, bolt out from the bracket. Just be really careful when you get towards the end. Whatever you want to do is definitely don't lose it. So that's now loosened that up. Now we're just going to get behind here. So let's see that. Just one there, just behind the crossover. So let's get that done. Okay, so second bolt out. Now the pipe is free, so we're just going to manoeuvre it off the crossover silicon turbo crossover. So we're just going to do that now, and I'm going to show you what I'm going to install. And before we take this out, just remember, obviously you've got the green insert onto the barb, which you just have to push these two green buttons on either side. Just push it and pull it down, and that will release that. Right, I'm just going to show you this. I've already done it, but it's a little bit awkward. So on the crossover pipe, I've kind of pulled it up, twisted it round, and then kept twisting to a point, and it's popped out. It's got a little lip on there, which actually is over the silicon, so it's a little bit awkward to get out, but there we have it. Fairly easy in its principle. As I say, at this stage it was 2 bolts, one there, one on the side. You unclip there for the barb, and that's about it. And just take out the filter just to give you a bit more space. So right, let's have a look at this ram air. So old OEM hard pipe. Now this is the ram air hard pipe, powder coated black. It does look good. And we'll do a comparison between the two. So you can already see how much thicker the ram air is all the way through. So it continues the 80 all the way through till it goes to the crossover. But yeah, it does come with its own silicone hose. Now, my only fear at this stage is the silicone turbo crossover is shorter than what is on the Pro hose. So that would suggest it finishes a little bit lower. This could mean that this might be too far over to hold the bracket. So we're going to find out that now. I don't really fancy changing the crossover hose, so we'll see. Okay, so I was forced to take off the crossover hose. Pain in the arse, because you can't see it, and it's right at the very bottom. There's a Jubilee clip, but it is achievable. So we managed to get it off, but if you can see the comparison between the two, let's grab that one and that one. So big difference. So you will have to change the silicone hose. Now I'm just worried about getting it back onto the turbo. Right, so I suggest taking the Jubilee clip off the turbo and getting it ready onto the silicone, and then we're going to put this end into the turbo. Right, let's go. Which is all the way down here, by the way. Down there. There's your turbo. Somewhere around there. Right guys, I managed to get the turbo to crossover on. I think it's tight enough. I'm happy with that. So let's get this crossover pipe on before I have a heart attack. Okay, so what we did is basically we changed the hose over to the Ram Air one. Now I put the hard pipe on across and down so it fits perfectly, but because the Ram Air is quite short, so it's closer to the turbo, unless I pushed it on too far, it doesn't really sit in it properly. It's very close to the edge, so you're not going to get a good clamp on it. Now, whether I start trying to fiddle around by taking it off again and try and bring the bottom end where the turbo is up slightly, that would be the only way to bring this up further enough to get the pipe to sit correctly on it. Now, because you can't see anything, to get that adjustment perfect is going to be very difficult. So I put the Pro hose back on for the moment just to see where we are. Now really it's probably an inch, maybe a bit more, too long. Now I'm tempted to cut the Pro hose. Probably not the best idea, because if this all goes horribly wrong, I can't put the original back on unless I obviously get the Ford one back out or buy another Pro hose. But I just personally feel like the Ram Air is just a little bit short, so I'm in a bit of a predicament because I want to get the hard pipe on. But what do I do? Okay, so I have made the decision to cut down the Pro hose pipe. I've taken it in stages, so we've got a couple of cuts. This was the first one, then we made a second, and we've just made a third. It's not quite straight. We'll have a look and just tidy that up in a moment, but we're just going to marry in now. I've done that every time just to see where we were, just to get on the bolt side over here. So we're just going to check that now just to see if that fits. Okay, this is looking a lot better now. It's sitting nice. We are about, you can see that, about a centimetre away. Now I could bend it and it would fit onto the bolt. What I don't want to do is deform the pipe. So we're going to be really careful at this stage and just take about a centimetre off, and then we should be perfect, and that would sit really nice in there. So let's do this, see if we can get this done. Oh yeah, just to confirm, by the way, whilst I've been doing this, I've had a cloth just in there to make sure that nothing falls into the turbo. So yeah, just in case you're going to do this. Right, we've got it on. I managed to get the bolt in and located. So we cut it down slightly, doesn't look too bad. Not sitting quite level, which is frustrating. It needs to come up slightly on this side. But nevertheless, it's in. So we're just going to get this bolt tightened up, see if we can just gently up this to see what's going on. But it's in. Oh my god. Okay, just before, or I don't forget, remember to take your plastic bung off and to reconnect your pipe onto the hard pipe. It'd be a bit awkward if you forget to do that, and also keep that safe just in case you change to an RS vac pipe. You will need that bung, which will go back onto the pipe. Right, I'm going to give you a document of how much they cut off. So it's about 9 centimeters off the Pro Ram. Now, you could argue, what's the point to an extent in terms of cutting a Pro Ram silicone hose up, but it definitely fits better than the Ram Air one, which I just think is a little bit too short, probably an inch or two. So that's the reason why I cut that down. Just to give you an idea, this is the one it comes with. So in comparison to the program, it is a lot shorter. So I took the decision, we cut the program, the Pro hose, and I think it's fitted really well. So here she is. Right guys, I think it's about time we fire this baby up. Let's see how it sounds. Fingers crossed that it's going to make a difference. I mean, I can't imagine it's going to make a huge difference, but we'll see. Obviously it's aluminium hard pipe by Ram Air. I've gone for this because in terms of price against some of the other ones, it's a good product, it's a good value. I think it looks fantastic the way it sits. Slightly different curvature to the AirTech and also some of the others on the market. As I say, the price is great. If you are interested in one, then hook me up. I sell these on custom rides, and new website going live very soon. But let's get this fired up and see what it sounds like. Right everybody, really excited, just about to start the car, so I'm going to do this live with you, so let's get it started. We'll let everything warm up first, so and then we'll walk around and see what's going on. So you know what, I think we're going to move to another location before we start trialing out the sounds. So I'm just going to whiz around the block. Let's see if we can capture some sounds inside the car and see what's going on. Right everybody, it sounds awesome. The flutter is amazing. Definitely sounds like there's a lot more flutter noise and at low revs when you give it a blip of the accelerator. The whoosh, really nice sound. Definitely makes a difference. You'd have to do it yourself to obviously discover that, but yeah, it sounds good. We're just going to whiz around this block, see if we can capture a few more sounds. Yeah, let's go. Right guys, let's have a quick whiz around the block, see if we can capture some sounds. Let's maybe get the window down, see if we can get a really good sound for you to hear, see the difference. Right, let's see. Drop it down a gear. So really low revs, sounds really nice. See if we can capture that just as we come around this corner. Okay, so there you have it. There's the installation of the Ram Air hard pipe. A little bit tricky, a little bit fiddly. Obviously, straight out of the box, you gain the Ram Air hard pipe, which is powder coated black. It's for the facelift in theory, because of where the barb is. But if you have a vac pipe, you could utilize it on a pre-facelift. As I say, the reason for that is because the barb is in a particular position, and it is only in the position for a facelift. But if you want to go for something like that, you can do if you've got a vac pipe. Cutting the Pro Hose silicone pipe, obviously I wouldn't recommend it if you are switching between hard pipes. Don't know why you would do that, but the Ram Air one that's supplied with it is a little bit short in my opinion. That's something I will take back to Ram Air and let them know that my feeling personally, it's probably an inch or so too short, especially where the turbo is. Getting the silicone hose onto the turbo, you want it secure, you want it, you know, as far down as possible, so and able to see the degree that it's actually on that on the pipe of the turbo is too difficult, and to try and maneuver that up to get it at the right spot to allow you enough space to give you to put the hard pipe into it. I think it does need to be extended, but that's just my opinion. So I'll make that, I'll provide that to Ram Air. With regards to the look of it, looks cracking in the car. Slightly different angle, again, a little bit fiddly to do, but all achievable within about an hour and a half with the right tools. And I think it looks and sounds great. You know, obviously it's not going to make a huge difference if you've already upgraded the Turbo crossover and you've already got a program or filter kit. You will gain a little bit more from something like this. And also, obviously, if you haven't already done so, get yourself a recirc valve, Turbo Smart or Forge. Again, that will influence the sound. So yeah, worth doing. So look, I'm going to wrap this up. Loving the look, loving the sound. Something that you can easily do yourselves, and it's a great price compared to AirTech and all the rest that are on the market at the moment. So yeah, thanks for watching. As always, if you are passing through and you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, also the bell button. So anything else, I've got a load of stuff to do. We've got fog lights, we've got the side stripes to do. We're going to go red on the side stripes, do something a little bit different, and a load of other stuff to do, but it's just fitting it in. So on this video, we're going to leave it there. Thanks again for watching, and catch you on the next one.